Tim Farron has criticised that decision, calling Mr Johnson a poodle of Washington and someone who even Trump judges to be a buffoon. Well, he can speak now live to him from his constituency of Kendal in Cumbria. Welcome to you. Why do you think the Foreign Secretary should still be visiting Moscow?
Well, look, we are a country in our own right. We have a relationship with Russia, an important one, and it seems bizarre that the Americans should ask us to cancel a pre-arranged visit, and B, that we should say, yes, OK. It tells you two things, really. First of all, it shows that we're not really taking back control at all. We appear to be simply an annex to the United States when it comes to foreign policy. At least that is how our government is currently behaving. And secondly, it shows you that even the Trump administration considers our current Foreign Secretary to be a diplomatic liability, and that is a terrifying thing. That doesn't change.
How does it tell you that, though? How does that information that he's not going tell you that the American administration think that he's a liability?
Well, ask yourself, why would the Americans want, admittedly at a sensitive time, Boris Johnson not to be going to Moscow? Why would they even ask if they didn't consider that that particular individual, for all his many strengths, being diplomatic not being one of them? And that's rather an important quality to have in a foreign secretary. I have to say, it's important for us to say, and I believe very strongly, that Assad's use of chemical weapons means that the attack in the last 48 hours on Syria was indeed proportionate, and that was a right choice by America. But none of us really understand what Trump's motives were in doing that. He acted unilaterally, so the manner in which he did it was not right. And so for us to just simply nod the head towards America and behave like it's poodle and allow them to do our foreign policy for us is just weak.
Is Boris Johnson really the poodle of America? The visit's been cancelled because it's a sensitive time.
It's a very sensitive time, and what we're trying to do is hold Russia to account and indeed bring them to the table. Is it right for the United Kingdom to just tug our forelocks and allow the American administration, whose motives are utterly unclear, and whilst it was justified that strike took place against Syria in response to the chemical weapons abuse the other day, nevertheless, the manner in which it was done unilaterally without consulting America's allies, including the United Kingdom, was not right. It seems absolutely bizarre for us to kind of cede our foreign policy to Rex Tillerson, Donald Trump's
But why are you insisting that our Foreign Secretary is simply doing as he's told? I mean, you're not crediting him or Theresa May with making any decisions off their own bat.
Well, we know that Donald Trump did not consult Theresa May or indeed any other member of the British government. We also know that whilst that attack is not one that I will condemn, I've been very clear that it was the right thing under international law to put Assad to hold him to account and to make sure that he will not make use.
So if you're saying that it's the right thing, why is it the wrong thing to cooperate with America?
So America didn't cooperate with us. What I'm saying is that attack on Syria the other day was not in any way illegal. I think it was morally justifiable. But why did Trump do it? And your guess is as good as mine. Every chance it was in order to differentiate himself from Obama. How did he do it? Well, he did it unilaterally without consulting any of his allies, including the United Kingdom. And so now he goes and sends his Secretary of State to Moscow to do his bidding. And yet the United Kingdom, with a very clear interest in the region and supposedly taking back control and being a strong independent power, simply behaves like a chattel of the Trump administration. A, why did America not want Johnson there? And B, why on earth did we say yes when we were told to rearrange our diary by the Trump administration?
Not necessarily sure that it's America not wanting Boris Johnson there. Rex Tillerson is still, as far as we know, visiting Moscow and going ahead with that decision. And you're saying that you agree with the intervention, you support the intervention, but why are you so critical of Boris Johnson's decision not to visit Moscow?
Because essentially the British government was told by the American government, don't send your guy to Moscow. Now, why on earth would they say that, given that we had a pre-planned visit there at this very sensitive time, if they didn't believe that somehow Boris Johnson might undo whatever diplomacy that was going on. That's a massive insult.
Well, what do you say? What do you say to Boris Johnson's team, saying that it's a shame that the Lib Dems would rather snipe and be silly when the US and the UK are trying to work on a plan to help the innocent people of Syria and stop a devastating civil war?
So I don't see how not going to Russia to talk to senior officials in the Russian administration helps tackle that one little bit. I want to have a British government that does what it should in defending the innocent people in Syria. That, by the way, includes taking many of the thousands of refugees that our government have refused to help, which is an absolute outrage and a moral stain on our country.
What do you think? What do you think the Russians will make of you calling our Foreign Secretary a poodle?
Do you honestly think they haven't worked that out for themselves? I mean, the United Kingdom is acting like the 51st state of the United States. Is something they will have worked out for themselves. I mean, it's very kind of anybody to in any way assume that me saying this is news to Russia. It jolly well isn't. They see the United Kingdom ripping up its Foreign Secretary's diary because the White House told them to. That's an outrage.
Tim Farron, thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
You didn't, frankly, have the balls to put country before party.